Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. And a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. The African Democratic Congress, the People's Democratic Party, and the former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi have protested the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission to de-recognize the ADC National Chairman David Mark and National Secretary Ralph Aregbesola INEC through its National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, announced the decision in a statement. Now, the Commission hinged its decision on a court order which directed the Commission to maintain the status quo pending the determination of a suit challenging the legality of David Mark's leadership of the opposition party. Meanwhile, as political alignments ahead of the 2027 general election gather momentum, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has held separate meetings with key opposition figures, intensifying consultations within the emerging coalition seeking to challenge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Atiku paid a courtesy visit to the national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, David Mark, in Abuja. He met with former Kano State Governor and 2023 presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, who had since defected to the ADC. Kwankwaso's recent defection from the NNPP to the ADC after months of speculations linking him to the ruling All Progressive Congress is widely seen as a boost to the opposition coalition around the ADC platform. The Federal High Court in Abuja has declined an ex parte application seeking to bar Senator Ireti Kingibe from participating in the activities of the African Democratic Congress. Justice Peter Lifu, in a ruling, refused the request by some ward leaders of the party in Wuse Federal Capital Territory, who alleged that the senator had been suspended over anti-party activities. Instead, the court directed the plaintiffs to put the lawmaker on notice to enable her to respond to the allegations and join issues with them. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has postponed his scheduled trip to Iberu, Ogun State, to prioritize a condolence visit to Jos Plateau State over last Sunday's attack that left at least 27 people dead. The decision comes shortly after President Tinubu met with Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang at the Aso Rock Villa, where the governor briefed him on the security situations in the state. The Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has ordered the deployment of police mobile force units and other tactical teams to Plateau State. Moving on now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is driving a renewed push to modernize state media and ensure every Nigerian stay informed. The assurance comes as the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria marks 75 years of broadcasting. Saadia Yakubu reports.
At Radio House in Abuja, the ceremony to unveil the anniversary logo sets the tone for a new chapter. The Information Minister, Mohammed Idris, points to fresh investment in broadcast infrastructure, including new 50-kilowatt medium-wave transmitters in Kaduna, Ibadan, Enugu, and Gwagwalada. A move, he says, will strengthen FRCN's reach and enforce its leadership across Nigeria's airwave. The minister describes FRCN as more than a broadcast, a unifying voice for a powerful national voice for 75 years.
75 years of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the companion of our independence, the witness to our journey, and the thread that weaves together our diverse stories into one national fabric.
The Director General of FRCN, Dr. Mohammed Bulama, says the anniversary is not just a celebration, but a turning point, a renewed commitment to innovation, professionalism, and service. Dr. Bulama assures that FRCN will continue to evolve with technology while staying true to its core mandates of informing, educating, and uniting Nigerians.
Your collaboration has been instrumental in our journey, and we look forward to building even stronger alliances as we go forward. To the government and people of Nigeria, we reaffirm our commitment. FRCN will continue to serve as a unifying force, a platform for dialogue, and a catalyst for national development, peace, and unity.
As FRCN clocks 75, the focus shifts from legacy to leadership in a rapidly evolving media landscape. Sadia Yakubu, Fogdouble TV News.
Moving on now, the federal government has declared public holidays to mark Good Friday and Easter Monday. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo made this known in a statement, extended congratulations to Christians in Nigeria and the diaspora while urging them to reflect on the virtues of selflessness, forgiveness, love, and forbearance exemplified by Jesus Christ. The minister called on Nigerians to embrace unity, peaceful coexistence, and tolerance, stressing that Easter serves as a reminder of the shared value that bind the nation together and are essential for sustained national progress and social harmony. Meanwhile, Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Kwara State Command, Bala Bawa Bandiga, has ordered the deployment personnel across all 16 local government areas of the state for the Easter celebration. Bundinga explained that the deployment was designed to preempt potential disruptions of law and order during the Easter festivities and prevent mischief makers from causing mayhem. In a statement by the spokesman of the command, Ayola Michael Shola Ilorin, the commandant reassured the public that the Corps presence will be visible and strategic across churches, recreational centers, motor parks, shopping complexes, and other critical locations, deterring criminal activity and ensuring a safe festive period. The Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliyu has met the Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu, assuring him of stronger collaboration and sustained support to security agencies battling banditry. A statement issued by the governor's media aide Abubakar Bauer said Aliyu gave the assurance during the visit to the Inspector General of Police at the force headquarters in Abuja, where both leaders discussed intensifying operations to curb violent crimes in Sokoto and beyond. Aliyu stated that security remained the cornerstone of his administration's 9-point SMART initiative agenda, noting that no meaningful development could take place without peace. You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Glad to have you join us. Dust has been raised from its source region and is expected to affect the extreme northern part of the country, including Borno, Yobe, Kano, Katsina, some parts of Zamfara and Sokoto. Moderate dust haze is anticipated with visibility ranging between 2 to 5 kilometers. As this dust combines with incoming moisture, temperatures are expected to drop significantly across many areas in the country. Further south, overnight into early Thursday morning, there are good chances of rainfall across parts of Adamawa, Taraba, some parts of southern Borno, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, the Federal Capital Territory as well. These conditions will persist into the afternoon and evening, with widespread moderate to heavy rainfall likely across the southern and central regions, extending into southern Kaduna and Kebbi states. Gusty winds may accompany this rain, so residents should take necessary precautions. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Shaibu Aliyu as the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund. Aliyu replaces Ahmed Aminu, who resigned his position to pursue the 2027 governorship election in Adamawa State. The president also approved the renewal of the appointment of Sule Abdulaziz as the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Transmission Company of Nigeria for his second and final term. The appointments take immediate effect. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dalhatu Abubakar as chairman of the Nigerian Commodity Exchange (NCX), alongside the reconstitution of its governing board. The announcement was disclosed in a statement issued by the presidency. The appointment, which takes immediate effect, is part of efforts by the federal government to strengthen Nigeria's commodity trading ecosystem and promote non-oil export growth. The House of Representatives Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration has drawn a firm line, insisting that transparency, measurable outcomes, and accountability must define the 2026 budget of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NAMASA. An agency's budget defense session committee chairman Khadija Abbas Ibrahim made it clear that vague projections and weak performances will no longer pass legislative scrutiny. National Assembly correspondent Anete Patrick tells us more.
Nigeria's maritime sector is under fresh scrutiny as lawmakers and regulators align on stricter performance targets ahead of the 2026 budget cycle. House Committee Chairman on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration, Khadija Abba Ibrahim, stressed that heads of maritime agencies must take full responsibility for their plans, projections, and results, describing the exercise as more than routine oversight, but a critical accountability test.
It's a mandate given to us to oversight and to interact with you regularly so that we have an insight into what is going on in NIMASA. It's not anybody witch hunting anybody, we're all mature.
NIMASA is projecting a bold 724 billion naira in revenue for 2026, with spending targeted at maritime security, infrastructure upgrades, and seafarer development. Lawmakers are demanding detailed data-backed plans that show exactly how safety programs, human capital investments, and revenue strategies will translate into results. Defending the proposal, Director General Dayo Moborola insists reforms are already in motion. He points to the full automation of operations and revenue collection through the Mokasa platform, designed to eliminate leakages and boost transparency. On the long-delayed cabotage vessel financing fund, he says a tougher bank-led framework is now in place, with about 60 applications already submitted by local shipping firms.
This budget is actually on the assumption that NIMASA will be fully automated on the issue of revenue, collection, and utilization.
Despite these assurances, some lawmakers raised concerns over the timing of the 2026 proposal, questioning the absence of a comprehensive review of the agency's 2025 performance. From the National Assembly, Anete Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
And on the foreign news now, the South African government has approved the deployment of troops to crime-hit provinces for a year, as authorities move to combat rising gang violence and illegal mining. President Cyril Ramaphosa says organized crime now poses a major threat to the country's democracy and economic stability. Zarau Nasiru tells us more.
Troops are expected to move into affected areas this month, with the operation set to run until March 31st next year, covering 5 of South Africa's 9 provinces, including the Western Cape, where gang violence remains widespread. However, deployment has yet to begin as mission readiness training continues and authorities work to establish a joint command structure to coordinate military and police operations on the ground.
Because these operations have been publicized, we're not expecting to get much today. But we got all year. We got up to end of March. But we are going to get these guns because we want these guns out of the people. If you don't have a gun, then you can't shoot. That's the first thing. And if the gun, the drugs, because it's one of the problems. And we are also looking at the gang leaders and the gang members.
There were transport issues allegedly regarding the SANDF. We've now also heard that I think 3 bases from which they are meant to be working have a fuel shortage, that the troops already have challenges regarding transport, and that's one of the reasons that a lot of the soldiers haven't arrived in the province yet.
Authorities insist the deployment will create room for broader strategy to dismantle organized crime networks, particularly those linked to illegal mining operations controlled by armed gangs. South Africa continues to grapple with one of the highest homicide rates globally outside conflict. Zahra Unasir, reporting for Global TV.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has appointed former Haitian Prime Minister Gary Conille as a new UN resident coordinator in Kenya. Conille, who assumed office, brings over 20 years of experience in international development, humanitarian affairs, and public administration within the UN system. In his new role, Conille is expected to lead the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework in Kenya. Donald Trump says the United States is nearing the end of its military campaign against Iran, but warns the heaviest strikes are still ahead. Speaking in a national address, Trump says key objectives have largely been achieved after a week of fighting while signaling intensified operations in the coming weeks. The conflict has already rattled global markets with rising tensions around the start of Hamas, fueling concerns over energy supplies. In sports news now, the Senate has screened Manasarari Ilo, nominee of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for appointment as Director General of the National Anti-Doping Center as part of efforts to strengthen integrity and regulatory compliance in the Nigerian sports sector. During the screening session, Ilo emphasized the importance of establishing a functional anti-doping system to curb cheating in sports and safeguard Nigerians' eligibility for international competitions. Anete Patrick reports.
The president's nominee for the Director General National Anti-Doping Center noted that global sporting standards now require countries to maintain credible anti-doping mechanisms, warning that failure to comply could expose athletes and national teams to sanctions.
The United Nations decided through UNICEF that a collaboration would be necessary with the International Olympic Committee to stem the tide of cheating in sports.
Also speaking, Director General of the National Institute of Sports, Philip Shoaibu, stressed the need for stronger collaboration among stakeholders across the sports ecosystem to reposition Nigerian sports for global competitiveness. He said revitalizing the sector would require coordinated institutional efforts and sustained policy implementation aligned with national development objectives.
For the vision of the president and the vision of Nigeria in sport, for us to actually occupy the space that we need to occupy in sport, those that he has appointed, from the chairman of Sport Commission to the DG of NIS, DG of Sport Commission, and the Federation have to work together.
Chairman, Senate Committee on Sports, Senator Abdul Ningi, said Nigeria must prioritize competent leadership and professional expertise to restore its past sporting glory. According to him, institutional reforms and strategic governance are critical to improving performance standards and enhancing Nigeria's competitiveness on the global stage.
It is our desire as Senate Committee to give the President all the needed impetus, all the needed supports in order for us to move Nigerian sport to a greater height.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Narcotics, Senator Ibrahim Dankwambo, raised concerns over funding and technical capacity, particularly regarding collaboration between the proposed center and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
From the recent data and statistics that we have had, use drugs, not only in sport, in criminality, even in politics.
Responding, a lawyer disclosed that discussions were already underway with the NDLEA to leverage the agency's operational expertise and resources to support anti-doping enforcement and testing processes. The Senate committee is expected to submit its report to the chamber for further legislative consideration and confirmation proceedings. From the National Assembly, Anieti Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
Face Poland and Portugal in international friendlies in June as part of preparation for upcoming global competitions. A statement by the Nigerian Football Federation Director of Communications Ademola Olajire in Abuja confirmed the high-profile fixtures and described them as crucial tests for the team. Olajire said the matches will help the technical crew assess the squad against top European opposition. Still on sports stories, meanwhile, the Super Eagles have retained 26th position in the latest FIFA World Ranking following their performances in the March international window. The side, led by Eric Chelle, played 2 friendly matches, winning against Iran and drawing with Jordan. Nigerian edged Iran 2-1, a result that earned them 5.34 ranking points against a higher-ranked opponent. But in a 2-2 draw against Jordan, who are placed significantly lower, resulted in deduction of 1.81 points. And the FIFA ranking operates on the ELO model, which adjusts a team's point base on match results, the relative strength of the opponents, the importance of fixtures, and expected outcomes, with stronger results against higher-ranked teams, yielding greater rewards. And that's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.